It's time to pick a side. The border war is on the air with BG and 10. All right, welcome into the border war for October 24th. What episode is this, TanMan?
75.
75 since we switched over to Spreaker. Probably about episode 1000 since we started doing the show. At least it feels that way.
I meant to go check Meredith's and see if anyone had listened lately. I meant to do that today.
I would be shocked if someone in the Ukraine isn't still tuning in every week on the old Meredith's platform. NBA season about a week old. Charlotte Hornets sitting at 2-2. Really could very easily be 3-1. They've only lost one game. But boy, they lost one game. They do not belong on the court with the Raptors.
That one was tough.
So let's just we can start off with the Hornets, but maybe let's talk kind of bigger picture, and then we'll get into Charlotte. Two teams not off to great starts. The Thunder, and the Lakers. Different situations. Which one of these two do you think here after about a week is a bigger flop? Like what are we thinking about I've got a really clear opinion here. I think we're going to agree on this. But what are your thoughts? If you're a Thunders fan or if you're a Lakers fan, who's got more right to be really disappointed right now?
Oof.
Didn't see that one coming, did you?
Nah, I would say I'd be a little more disappointed if I was a Lakers fan, but
really,
I would say if I was a fan, I'd be a little more disappointed just because of all the pomp and circumstances of adding LeBron James and everything else they did. But when you look at their schedule, they lost to Houston.
Yes,
they lost to San Antonio. It's not like they've played bottom feeders. If you're the Oklahoma City Thunder, you lost the other night to the Sacramento Kings at home.
Well,
to me, so far the Thunder have been the bigger flop.
And the other thing is, the Thunder have expectations. They're a better basketball team. You take LeBron off of this team. This is still a team that didn't come close to a winning record last year. I mean, now to be fair, he did that with a pretty equal team. I mean, without LeBron, last year's Lakers versus last year's Cavaliers, who wins a best-of-7 series with all the remaining players from last year's team.
Without LeBron from either side.
Yeah, no Rajon Rondo, none of that. Last year's teams.
Who?
That's tough.
Toss-up.
Somebody has to. I think the Cavaliers maybe win that.
I think probably the Cavaliers because
Tristan Thompson.
You said Thompson instead Kevin Love. So I think probably the Cavs.
Yeah. So even with what LeBron did last year, that was sort of my point. What he's trying to do this year is, well, we don't really know what he's trying to do. I mean, I'll tell you this, though. My family and I were up in Gatlinburg on LeBron's opening night on the road, and then we watched a little bit of his home opener. And whatever else he is, man, he's dialed in.
Oh, yeah.
He is coaching on the sideline, and now I don't remember the Lakers' actual coach showing up on the television more than about twice, but LeBron was featured heavily in everything that happened.
You saw him dragging what'd you think about that? With the Chris Paul, Rajon Rondo fight and LeBron James.
I don't trust Rajon Rondo.
Well, I'm saying if you play for the Lakers, then you guys get into a fight with another team, and LeBron James goes over and coddles a guy from the other team and basically walks him back to the locker room. Are you feeling some kind of way about wait a minute, bro. Wait, whoa. You're over here now.
Yeah, I mean, even when he wasn't over here, I mean, he wasn't a Rocket.
I mean, I get him and Chris Paul.
Maybe Chris Paul's his insurance agent. Maybe that's why they're close.
Maybe he turned him on to State Farm.
I think those commercials are still not hilarious. Anyway, that's today's NBA, though, isn't it? I mean, everybody has. I mean, all of us old school guys that watched '90s NBA basketball don't understand any of that. Somewhere Bill Lambier probably put his head through a brick wall when he saw that. Yeah. Like, you should have killed him.
No, I tell you what, though, the first week of the NBA season, it's been amazing. I think scoring is up in the NBA like 8 points from what it was.
It's the observance of they're letting a little more offensive traveling and stuff. They said they weren't gonna let it slide, but man, they're letting guys get away with some stuff with a basketball. And look, they're smart. The NBA's been smart for 15 years now. They know what people want to see. And they're giving it to them.
They're giving it to them, man. And early on...
the only team in the NBA right now that's not averaging 110 points a game?
Who?
The Celtics. Averaging 95 points a game, but that's how they play ball.
Interesting.
It is very interesting.
I wouldn't have guessed that. I would have guessed like Memphis or something like that, or Orlando.
I love Memphis's court.
Oh man! Oh my gosh!
I love their logo and their court, man. That's a cool looking arena.
But early on, like I said, the NBA has been flat on fire, man. Every night there's something to turn on. There's a game on. Last night you turn on NBA TV. Blake Griffin gives you 50 points in an overtime ball game.
Yeah.
Trey Young, I picked him up.
Won a game they didn't have any business winning.
I picked Trey Young up on my fantasy team the other week.
How much does
he gave me like 37 points the other
Trey's
night.
gone off, no question.
He has overcome his summer.
He has not overcome the team he's on yet. But here's a question. I mean, like, how if you're a, I guess, I'm not going to laugh at the Pistons. The Pistons are a storied franchise. Let's say, I mean, they've come around on two different occasions, right? And won NBA titles with two very different
situations.
Ben Simmons, not Ben Simmons, what was that?
Ben Wallace.
Ben Wallace and Bill Laimbeer, not the same guy. Anyway, if you're a Pistons fan, how much does it scare you that your best player scores 50 and it goes to overtime? I mean, that's a little terrifying, but you still got the win.
Yeah,
you got the win.
It's a little tough. Against one of the better teams in the league.
No question. It's second best team in the East. According to BG. According to BG.
Well, have you seen the Toronto Raptors lately?
I saw them actually play the Charlotte Hornets a couple nights ago, and it did not end well for the home team.
No, they look, to me, they look head and shoulders like the best team in the East right now. Kawhi Leonard looks like a man on a mission.
Here's the thing that gets me. This is how influenced we are by the media. You and I are. We try to be free thinkers. It's difficult. Why should it be so hard to believe that the best team in the East last year during the regular season doesn't lose anybody, signs their sixth man who's a beast to a long-term contract, and then picks up the best defensive player in the West, adds him to that, and we don't pick them to be the best team in the East? That's kind of on us. Yeah. I don't know why anybody should be surprised by this. Now, what they did in the playoffs last year was laughable.
Well, that's a LeBron James thing.
It is.
LeBron James just said kryptonite. But Charlotte Hornets, we'll get back in our box real quick.
Yeah.
The Hornets, they're 2-2.
Well, no basketball is supposed to be in our box. Remember, that was the advice we got.
Yeah.
No NBA at all.
Yeah.
Well, the TanMan's not going to be. He won't even be in here.
Listen, we are going to talk some basketball.
Yes, we are.
I refuse to not talk basketball.
I've enjoyed it, man.
But the Hornets, 2-2, could easily be 3-1, but could also easily be 1-3.
Yeah.
They lost a tough one opening night, where as expected,
the closing shot ends up in Nick Batum's hands
and doesn't even hit the rim.
Not hit the rim. $10 million a year.
Give it to Charlotte that night. Milwaukee, one of the better teams.
And Milwaukee was up on them big.
They were up big. They made everything in the first half to be able to fight back in that. They dominate Orlando. They go to Miami on a back-to-back. And I don't know if you've ever seen this, but they've done. They've pulled the numbers and done and looked at things. Teams that go to Miami on back-to-back, just something about being in Miami, the nightlife, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
They always stink, man. The Hornets jump out to a 20-something point lead, huge lead. Miami makes their run, and Charlotte holds them off.
And to me, this is a game that's a real kind of canary in the coal mine sort of game, because the Heat and the Hornets, to me, they're right there with each other.
I think so.
I think, and so not so much that you get the win because you're going to play them at least 3 more times, but because I think it's a litmus test. Man, you win a road game early in the season against a team that, in my estimation, is about your equal in talent. It bodes well for Charlotte. And you and I talked about it. Whatever the talk about Kemba Walker is, he looks absolutely stoked to be on the court with these guys. I love the vibe you're getting from this team.
Kemba Walker is saying, "Pay me my money."
Oh, no question.
Pay that man his money.
And I tell you, you and I are going to have a tough time if they don't, I think. I'm going to have a hard time saying bye to Kemba if I ever have to do it.
Okay.
God, he's a hard player not to love.
I tried to tell everyone before the start of the year, and I have one friend who just flat refuses to acknowledge that the Charlotte Hornets could possibly be any good. This team is going to be a good basketball team all year. You wondered how they would come around and how the new system, how long it would take to get that new system in. This team is setting NBA records right now.
Yes.
They are setting NBA records for three-pointers. And by the way, they're beating the records that Golden State Warriors have set. Kemba Walker is setting records himself to start the season. And
what in the world was Steve Clifford seeing out of Malik Monk last year? I don't know.
I don't know, Steve.
That cat is alive, man. Like his game jumps off the screen.
Look, I don't know what Steve Clifford was doing with this team last year, but whatever it was,
man, we were both Clifford guys, man. We're not throwing him under the bus, but I think it's fair to say that lineup had passed him by because Malik Monk, had he been getting the minutes last year, I think everybody keeps saying Kemba's got to have somebody, right? He's got to have, and the only thing that Monk is missing right now. Tell me if you agree with this. It's just consistency and experience. He just needs the time because when he flashes, he's right there. I mean, this kid's going to be a star. I think he's going to be a star.
I agree with you. He just needs to. He needs that court time. He needs to play. Mm-hmm. For the first 5 games on the road, if you're the Charlotte Hornets, you've got a really winnable game tonight in Chicago. They've got Zach LaVine, Lauri Markkanen, not much else up there, but Jabari Parker. But you should go up there and beat Chicago. You do that, this 4-game road trip, you've gone 3-1.
Yeah.
I mean.
And again, I keep coming back to that Heat win because it was so close and it was close late.
The Toronto
for them
loss,
to pull that up, it doesn't tell you anything.
No, it doesn't tell you anything. The first half of that ball game, they kind of hung around, just kind of in the neighborhood. That small lineup that spurred the comeback against Milwaukee that Borrego went to
with Kawhi on the court.
The probably the last half of the second quarter, they just got smoked out of the gym with that small lineup.
I'll say this though,
the dog on them.
Rebounds continue to be a concern for me. There are going to be teams they just can't compete with because they're going to get dominated in the paint on the second chance shots. They're not going to get many second chance shots.
They are. I kind of bring it back to kind of like North Carolina was last year where Roy Williams played a small lineup.
Gave up on the power forwards. He wasn't,
he likes to play with 2 bigs. He went to a small lineup, and they were still one of the top rebounding teams in the country. So Charlotte, it can be done. Charlotte's going to have to figure out a way to do that.
Well, I think you were on to it a couple of weeks ago when we talked about it. I mean, you start schooling them on rebounding those long threes because they don't come off the rim the same way.
And the other thing, Kemba Walker, for as amazing as he's been to start the year, you can't count on him to give you 35 points every single night. So, again, it's going to sound like you're beating a dead horse, but you're going to continue to say it until it happens.
Nick Batum. He can't average 9.7 points a game. 9.7 points a game. That's what he's averaging right now.
That's got to be up around 14 or 15 for this team to sustain this over the course of 82 games. Batum's got to get that up. I think he can, and if he can't, then guess what? The Malik Monk is there, seemingly ready to take those minutes.
I don't know. I'd like to see Kid Gilchrist get a few more minutes too. I thought he's looked good. I like his defense, and he scores enough, to sort of justify his presence. But man, Cody Zeller's wearing a cloak of invisibility over there. I don't know what he's seeing nothing.
Yeah,
he's seeing nothing.
Kid Gilchrist.
I don't think Cody took off his warm-up jacket in the opening game. I'm serious. I watched him in the fourth quarter. He's sitting there with his hood on like he's a boxer. I mean,
for years now, everyone has always looked at Michael Kidd Gilchrist as being this defensive guy, and I think now for the first time since he's been in Charlotte, he's really bought into that. Borrego is playing him more now as a small ball. 4 than the typical 3 because they've got an abundance of guys who can play that 3 position. So he utilizes that small lineup, and Kid Gilchrist playing that small 4 is leading the league in blocks. Or right there near the top. So
when he was on the court and playing sort of, let's be honest, Dawn Staley said it the other night in her press conference that positions don't exist in basketball anymore.
It's going that way.
They're really, but Kid Gilchrist the other night, when he was on the court and Antetokounmpo tried to go inside, I mean, he was there. Mm-hmm. He gave him fits. And I'm sorry, man, if you can slow him down with what he can do with his body, with a basketball in his hand, you play defense.
Yeah, but so far, I would give you want a report card. I'd give the Hornets an A.
Yeah,
they've got some things to still work on.
Like you said, the Raptors. I'm not sure they don't do that to the 76ers right now. I mean, they're playing that way.
They're on fire. I'd give the Hornets an A. And like I said, you can get the win tonight against Chicago. You can go 3-1 on that road trip. And the upcoming week, you're going back-to-back with Chicago tonight.
And like I said, you can go down the schedule and find eight teams in the NBA that they should beat every time they play.
Yeah.
I mean, their schedule is going to be full of that because they're in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah. But the next few weeks, they've got a lot of winnable games, I think, still on the schedule. So things are shaping up, I think, looking good in Charlotte.
I don't think even at this point, I think
things to work on, but very encouraged.
I think at this point, I mean, you say you pencil them in as an 8 seed. I mean, I think that's because we talked about last year, as rough of a close as they had, they were probably only 3 to 4 wins away from being a playoff team last year, right? I mean, so
they weren't that that far from it.
This team is going to win. I mean, I'll say they're going to win 8 to 10 more games than last year's squad.
Okay, the first 4 games of the year, Kemba Walker's been the highest scorer in all of them for both teams.
No, and again,
he's going to need somebody.
He's always had that ability, but to me, what that shows too is that he has bought into the new system. I think it suits him, and just again, I'm just talking about his facial expressions, his body language. That's not very scientific, but I get a good feel when I watch this team. They look like a team that a cool breeze has blown through the locker room and kind of woken everybody up a little bit.
Like I said, sometimes a fresh voice is exactly what you need. A fresh guy.
Sometimes you need a guy that's younger with some styled up hair gel as opposed to absolutely no hair.
And this is it. Before we shut this thing down, you've heard him talk, right?
I heard him talk at his opening press conference last year, but I don't remember it very well.
Go back, pull up a James Borrego press conference and close your eyes.
Okay.
And to me, he sounds like the dude giving an interview to the press that doesn't want his identity revealed, and so they mask his voice.
So he sounds like this.
Yes, he sounds like he's like he's testifying against mobsters or something, and he doesn't want them to see who he is.
Do we know they're not doing that? His last name is Borrego. I mean, who knows, man?
Yeah, well, if they keep winning like this and keep playing like this, everybody's going to know who he is.
There you go.
So that is it for episode 75. We are out of here. Make sure you like and share us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at The Border War. You can also email the show at carolinaborderwar@gmail.com. If you want to get your football picks in for the week, go ahead and get those in.
It's not hard to beat us.
Anyway, speak for yourself, my friend. Speak for yourself.
6-4 has been your best week. You
did I went like 9-1 the other week?
No, you did not. You went 1-9 the other week. You're being dyslexic again.
No. How do you think I built that giant lead?
Dyslexic. By playing.